Welcome to the second part, how to kick. So going on to kicking now, as I said, the legs are essentially like arms, and I think it's really, and I need to do a lot more like this. When I was young, into Jeet Kune Do sort of principles, back in the 70s and 80s, I did a lot of fancy kicking and spinning kicks, and I was very accurate, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm sort of getting back into that. Because why should your legs be clumsy and your arms be skillful? It doesn't make sense. You know, you've got two arms that you're not using. If you're just using to stand up, well, they're being wasted. So it's good to practice dexterity with your legs and your feet. And one of my main teachers through the years, Sifu Ivan Hao, pretty much the first thing he told me in Wing Chun was, when you kick like you're going for a walk. And it seemed a bit odd to me at first. Kick like you're going for a walk, what does it mean? But he said, you know, just feel what it feels like to walk, just to relax and walk. Now that feeling, that's the right feeling. It's a soft feeling. You're not thinking about kicking, you're just walking. It's a natural thing. So when you, if you kick, thinking kick, it's like bang, you know, bang. Whereas a good Wing Chun kick, you step. And to practice it, you don't have to have too much effect. Because funny enough, if you are really relaxed and all your body weight's in it, you don't need much to affect somebody. You just need just to touch them virtually, and it breaks their structure and gets them off balance. This is my favourite bag. I got both of these bags from my friend Steve, a really great guy, an old school karate sensei who runs Fight World at Southport in Australia on the Gold Coast. And a little plug for him because he's such a great guy, and I love Fight World, fightworld.com.au. They have a really good online store, and they're just generally nice people and real martial art experts, and they support all martial arts, MMA, UFC, karate, taekwondo, kung fu, whatever you're into, they'll support you and they'll give you advice. So got both these bags from him. This is the one I used for years and years. They're good bags. They're good for practicing, but for me they're a bit soft. After a while I started to want something more solid, so I got this one. It's a Morgan, but it's as solid as a rock. And the thing about this is, when you touch it, there's no sort of jelly wobble, and you can feel if the other person's feeling it. It just goes, basically you're focusing into them rather than on the leg you're kicking, focusing on their spine, and they'll feel it. This is really good for punching or kicking, and you can do this sort of thing for hook kicks, which brings me to the subject of the different kicks. The first kicks we learn in Wing Chun, of course, in our forms, we don't really kick until we start Chum Kiu form. But a lot of Wing Chun, of course, we start kicking fairly early just so that you can use it for self-defense. So the basic kick, just the front kick, you're using the heel, and what you're really doing is you're stepping. You want to step on them, and you can even just step on them with a little step forward. But boom. That's a very, very powerful kick, and there's an old kung fu saying, to bring down the tree, cut the roots. That's what kicking's about. You want to take their legs out. We tend not to kick high, but honestly, if that's what's meant to be in a fight, do it. You know, you shouldn't be bound by too many rules in fighting, but you want to be confident before you go kicking high. But if you kick low as you're coming in with your strikes, then you know you're gonna hurt them, and more preferably knock them down so as they stop fighting, or they put them at a big disadvantage, especially if you're being attacked by a few people. You want to put people down rather than trying to fight them all at once. But our kicks in the end are just like kicking a footy. And I grew up playing Aussie rules, Australian form of football. We do a lot of kicking. And the same as our strikes, there doesn't have to be any real, this has got to be the direction or whatever of Wing Chun. The theory of force teaches us just to open our joints in a relaxed way, and it's pretty much irresistible. And that same principle, which I'll talk about more, I'm going to get a partner to show you some of this stuff, but yeah, your kicks can be like that, like kicking a footy. The main thing is that it's unforced and relaxed. And when I was first taught, we always were taught to stand in a stance, and we'd kick like that, keeping the angle. It's not such a bad idea, especially if you're new to Wing Chun. From a self-defense point of view, it's probably better to keep the leg on an angle, but once you get the idea of how, once you get to that state and relax, it's almost impossible for somebody to stop you opening your joints. And it doesn't really matter, you're just going to carve through them. That's the theory of it. People often say, you know, how does this work in a fight? Well, I don't know. I'm not going to go out and start beating random people up just to test my Wing Chun. And I'd really prefer not to have to fight people, because that's when they pull the shiv. You know, that's when their mates turn up, or somebody throws a brick at you from behind. So fighting's really for dummies. You want to only fight if you absolutely have to. But Kung Fu's just fun, isn't it? Alright, so that's pretty much it. I've covered a lot of territory there. I'll say goodbye now, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please like it if you like the video, and please subscribe, and please share with your friends if you think what I'm saying has some value. I'm sure you're finding it has some value. I've had lots of good feedback. Please tell people about it, and I'll see you next time.